every year, right before Passover, my teacher, Rabbi Yemima Mizrahi, she tells us the same story. And this is the story. There's a man who, when he was in his early 20s, he grew up in a religious home, and when he was in his early 20s, he left everything behind. He abandoned all religion. And he became so virulently anti-religious that he ended up taking over, he ended up setting up an organization to encourage other people who are religious to also abandon the religious lifestyle and become anti-religious like him. So one time, Rabbi Chaim Mizrahi, Rabbi Yemim's husband, ran into this person somewhere and asked him, said, "Tell me something." Said, "What went wrong? Why did you decide to leave behind a religious life? What happened? What went so badly?" And the man said, he said, "I'll tell you something." He said, "If you had seen my mother in the weeks before Passover," he said, "believe me, you wouldn't be asking me this question." So the message of this terrifying story is clear. That, when we as mothers, when we get so stressed out and so worked up and so, totally in a tizzy about Passover cleaning, that we end up becoming sort of like domestic monsters, that we end up driving our children away from Judaism. So I can imagine that many of you hearing this are feeling a little bit upset as I'm telling you this story. You're thinking, what does Rabbi Yemima and what does Hannah Jenny Weisberg, what do they want from me? Okay, things are it's so stressful, and I have to clean my house for Passover, and it's just so much, and so I have little kids also to take care of, and not only do they expect me to clean my house, but they also want me to be happy about it and calm and like a normal functioning, smiling mother. What do they want from me? And so, what I want to suggest is two ideas to make Passover cleaning easier, so we can stay, happy and calm and normal and functioning, somewhat normal and functioning during these weeks leading up to Passover. The first thing that I would encourage you is, I think that there's a lot of confusion. What is Passover cleaning? What is the mitzvah of cleaning for Passover, of getting the house rid of chametz, and spring cleaning? For example, a lot of our energy, we spend a lot of energy, let's say dusting the bookshelves or cleaning the windows, or which in fact is dust, we're getting rid of dust, that's not chametz. Or let's say you're taking a toothpick, you're spending several hours going with a toothpick into your children's toys, your children's Legos, and then going into the toaster oven and going with a Q-tip and going through with bleach in the toaster oven. The thing is that, we're allowed to sell chametz. So I think sometimes we think, well, by cleaning this extra thing, by cleaning the Legos, or cleaning the extra puzzle pieces, and then and scouring them in the bathtub for several hours, or cleaning the toaster oven for several hours, we can sell those things. But I think that sometimes we think that by doing these extra things that we don't really have to do, we're being extra good, we're being extra machmir, we're being extra strict about cleaning for Passover. But what ends up happening is that, as I said before, by doing this extra spring cleaning that the Jewish law doesn't require of us, we end up becoming these really grouchy moms, and our kids end up kids and husbands, and we end up paying the price for extra cleaning and spring cleaning. So what I want to encourage all of you is, first of all, if you can pick up a phone, speak with your rabbi, and find out, you're a mother, you have a lot of people depending on you to stay normal during these weeks, and call up your rabbi and ask him what is the minimum that you need to do in order to halachically get your house ready for Passover. I've also posted an article on my blog. It's by one of the greatest rabbis of this generation, Rabbi Steinberg, the Rosh Yeshiva of Torah Or in Jerusalem. And he wrote an article several years back called "How to Clean for Passover and Still Enjoy the Seder." And basically he writes there about this phenomenon of women just totally getting all stressed out and miserable because of Passover cleaning, and how it's really not necessary. And he goes through step by step, room by room, what is the minimum that we need to do in order to get our house ready for Passover. And I think it's incredibly helpful. I reread it every year. So the second thing I think is to rethink our attitude towards cleaning towards Passover cleaning and cleaning in general. I think we tend, in our society, to have a really, really bad attitude towards cleaning. So we tend to see, in Western society, we tend to see cleaning as something humiliating and menial, and something that you pay somebody else to do because it's so below us to do it. And all of a sudden it's the weeks before Passover, and probably most of us are. I hope all of us are getting some sort of cleaning help to do the hard jobs in the kitchen and stuff, but. In general, it's something that all of a sudden we're spending so many more hours, even doing the minimum. It does require quite a few hours of work on our part, and we find it humiliating, and it drives us down. But I think it's important that we understand that there's a real spiritual purpose to this. This is not just regular cleaning. This is Passover cleaning. Passover, it's one of the highest, most exalted holidays of the Jewish calendar. And there's a beautiful commentary by the Ish Kodesh. The Ish Kodesh was a great Hasidic Rebbe who was murdered in the Shoah, and he writes something very interesting about Passover cleaning. He says that when you move your body, let's say you go to the gym and you're exercising. So all of a sudden you feel all sorts of your body that you never feel otherwise. All of a sudden you feel the air going in and out of your lungs, you're breathing hard, and you feel your heart pumping hard. You feel all sorts of muscles, your calf muscles or your whatever muscles that you usually don't feel. So the Esh Kodesh explains that the same is true of Passover cleaning. That when you clean for Passover and you're scrubbing and you're cleaning and you're getting everything ready and you're climbing up in a ladder and doing whatever you need to do, he says that in that same way that you are enabling yourself to access the hidden holy lights of Passover. And that somebody who gets to Seder night. Seder night is supposed to be, one of the holiest nights of the year. It's a night when all of the heavenly gates are open to our prayers. But if you get there and you haven't moved your body beforehand by cleaning and preparing and cooking and doing all the things you have to do, then those lights will be those hidden lights of exalted holiness will be cut off from you. You can only access them through that work that we have to do. So I want to bless all of us that in the coming weeks, as we approach Passover, that we should be able to clean and get our houses ready, so that they'll be ready for Passover, but also to do it with joy and to be calm and happy and normal, at least somewhat normal and functioning, and that all of us should definitely remember that dust is not chametz. Dust is not leaven, and our children and our husbands, and we were never, never intended to be the Passover sacrifice. I want to bless all of you with a wonderful, wonderful week.